From Cornwall to Birmingham and Johnston and Bexhill, here's Ruben Spire on the radio.
Hello to Lucy Crisp. How are you today?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for letting me chat to you today. So can you tell me, how long have you been a singer-songwriter for?
So I have loved singing since I was a very young person. And I know this sounds all cliche, but I just have loved singing, to Disney songs, and love singing to Hannah Montana, The Climb. My dad's got a video about some of that, and I don't know where it's gone. But I really have loved writing music since I was young. And I would say I would always be showing my friends the newest songs that I had wrote when I was in secondary school. And then I didn't really take it seriously until I attended Confetti in 2018. After an emotional roller coaster of going through A-levels and also trying to figure out what I want to do in life. But yeah, I'd say I've been now writing songs and releasing songs for a good 3 years. But I've been a bit more consistent this year, which is always a good thing. And I think consistency is key.
So can you tell me, was it like going into the recording studio for the first time?
I mean, going to a recording studio is always an experience in that there's always something that goes off, like the mixing desk ain't working, or the microphones are the wrong microphones that you want to use. And I think it's just a personal experience that, as an artist, you take for granted sometimes, in the fact that you are having the access to literally loads of things in this small space, and you're just there creating your music. But it's always a fun vibe with the people that I work with. And especially with this last EP that I've created, my debut EP even, it was so fun being with so many great Nottingham creatives and just creating that music that, is quite meaningful, and them being really supportive of that and just being part of a journey.
So can you tell me, how did cystic fibrosis affect you during your life and your music career so far?
So cystic fibrosis, I was born with a genetic condition. I say I was born, it was 3 days in, and then they diagnosed me properly. But it's always been something in my life, and the routines that I've had are definitely different to what other people have. And in particular with cystic fibrosis, it's quite life-threatening. That it affects the lungs, it affects the pancreas, and not to get too gross with it, but basically the mucus inside of me is a lot thicker than, say, a person who didn't have cystic fibrosis. So I guess that's where it becomes life-threatening, and then other complications can occur with that. And, trying to balance my medical condition with a music career, it is a hard thing to do. And, you do have those days where you're thinking, oh, well, how can I even balance this? And you're always either prioritizing one or the other. But from personal experience, I would say it's been great, showcasing my music and also getting that message about people with disabilities out there. Because I don't think there's a lot of music these days that, does have that same effect, that, that person is talking about what they're going through personally, and that audience is just there listening. And I think it's just really nice that, I have been able to show people that actually, despite me having a disability, I can create music, and, for that music to be for other people to resonate with my music. So it's a really cool feeling that, I'm just grateful to just do both, and somehow manage both. Don't ask me how, but I'm somehow doing it. But yeah, I'm just grateful for every day that I'm here and just taking every day as it is, really. So yeah.
I'm going to take you back when you first started. So can you tell me more about Feet?
Feet. Okay, that's a quite interesting one, because really, I was never going to release that song at all. And for multiple reasons, but one, the song title, I mean, who releases a song called Feet? But I think really, the song was just about opening up to someone about having a medical condition. And that's really hard for a lot of people these days, because there's still so much burden around people with disabilities. And I think that's the reason why I released the song at the time, especially during the pandemic, because, you know, a lot of people like myself was going through such a hard time. And like everybody was, but I think, you know, when you have other things going off in your life, it's a lot to, you know, try and have control of, and it can be overwhelming. And, you know, I think for me in particular, I've always found it difficult to talk about my medical condition. And even though I'm here with you today talking about it, it's like there's still things that I'm still holding back to a degree. But also, I think releasing that song, it gave me some amazing opportunities. And I think it was really the first time that like I was being taken like seriously sort of as an artist. I mean, when you're a 20-year-old having no idea how to get yourself out there, I guess just popping it on Spotify, you never know what can happen. And I mean, I got some really lovely opportunities as that with BBC Introducing. They've been supporters of me since day one, and I'm so grateful that they gave that, like, my first ever debut song, its airplay. So I'm just very grateful for any opportunity that arises, and just, you know, having those people there that actually think that my music is really good. It's just such a great feeling.
So can you tell me more about Moonlight Skaters?
Moonlight Skaters. So this was a follow-up from Feet, because I wanted something a bit more upbeat and me not sounding like, I don't know, someone miserable and just going for the whole ballad sort of feel. And to be fair, I do try and be upbeat. I am quite an upbeat person, and I wanted to have something about empowerment. I had just gone through a messy sort of breakup at the time. And, you know, I just wanted that female empowerment anthem that's like, you know what, I don't need, you know, the haters in my life to like say you can do this and you can't do this, and, you know, trying to think that they somehow like they have some sort of control over my life. So I thought Release Moonlight Skaters was quite a good anthem. It was very female empowerment vibe. And I think it was just really cool to just have released something such as that, because I'd always wanted to write a song that's like, you know what, I can do these things and I don't need a man to do these things. So yeah, that's the reason why I released Moonlight Skaters. And then, yeah, the progression from Moonlight Skaters to 65 Roses as in the EP, I think it was kind of expected in a way, because I did always like the synthy sounds and music, and going from like disco to synth pop, it just felt perfect to have the whole EP in that sort of genre.
So can you tell me more about One Summer's Day?
So this is where it gets interesting. So I write a whole song, like a messy breakup song, like empowerment song after a post breakup. And then I fall in love like 6 months later or something. And it was written for my partner, and it was such a lovely song that, you know, I wanted it to be quite upbeat, but also I was very inspired by the likes of Holly Humberston and Sven for that song in particular. So I was trying to go for more indie sound, and I took it to my friend Nathan, and he just made it like this dance pop anthem. And I'm thinking, this is the sort of music that I want to be creating. And I just kind of just went from like there with the song in particular. And it was that kind of thing of like, I had the melody at the time. And then actually, when I was just thinking about my partner, I was thinking, actually, no, these lyrics sound perfect. And, you know, I just dedicated it to my partner at the end of the day.
So continue more about your current single called Lockdown.
So Lockdown is off the 65 Roses EP. It's about my personal experience of being in lockdown during the pandemic. And I guess it was such a hard time, especially during lockdown, because a lot of things were going off. But I think it was just being stuck inside 4 walls. And even when people were going out, it just felt like I was just like nobody really cared, in the fact that I was going through something. And like, obviously, people will be wrong in saying, actually, no, Lucy, people did care about those with disabilities. But I think it's like, it's the caring and then there's the actions. And I think a lot of the time, like people with disabilities, we just get left out in society. And you know, from it being from a disabled person's point of view, it's like sometimes I don't even feel accepted into society. And that's the crazy thing for me to say, because I'm not even in that place where people can see that I am, you know, like visually disabled. Whereas like, in a way, you know, invisible disabilities, but, you know, disabilities that you can't see are just as important as those with, you know, disabilities that you can see. And lockdown, it was just kind of that feeling of like, I just wanted to get out and just experience something new. I was just fed up with the routine that I was in. And I just kind of hoped that, you know, someday I would be able to go and see people again that I loved. And yeah, I just wrote a whole fun anthem song about it.
So can you tell me more about your debut EP called 65 Roses? What's that all about?
So 65 Roses, it's about my personal experience of living with a medical condition, that being cystic fibrosis. So I did a bit of a play on words with the EP title. And I think I had always wanted it to be that title because it just felt right. It felt perfect to have my first ever debut EP just be about what I'm going through personally. And it kind of be the introduction for people, not just as me as an artist, but as me as like maybe someone that, you know, could be a friend or something, and just kind of opening up about my own personal experiences in the hope that people will also open up about their experiences as well. So there was a lot of songs on the album that really defined my sound in particular and the meaning of that EP. I mean, I Deserve Better, that was all about championing like the fact that, you know, people can do you wrong, but actually you don't deserve to go through that. And I think, you know, it's songs like that I think gets a conversation talking.
So can you tell me, what was it like performing at the bus stop?
So at the old bus depot, I had my EP launch party. It was really, really cool. And there was so many people there that supported me on the night. I even showcased some of the merchandise that I had been working on for quite a while. And it even sold out, which is absolutely insane. To think that actually my merchandise is just as cool as my music. So it was a really good night. And I think everyone who was there was just in support of not just like myself, of the support acts as well. And Davina, they was just absolutely amazing on the night. And I think it's just great that we could just raise awareness in my home city about what I'm going through personally and what many other people may be going through.
So give me more about being independent artist.
Sorry, what was that?
How's it been independent artist for you?
Being an independent artist, I think there's always its ups and downs, isn't it? In the fact that, you know, there's a lot of work to do behind it. But also, if you don't put in the work, you don't know what you're going to get out of it. And I think sometimes always putting in that work, it will pay off eventually. And being an independent artist at the moment is a good feeling because it just means I have control over my songs and what I write and what I do. But I am always like, you know, connecting with so many other music industry people as well. And just being like, am I doing this right? Or actually, how should I be doing things? You know, the support that you get on the way is really insane. And, you know, it's just making those connections at the end of the day that I think is just so valuable. And it has really helped me as an independent artist. So I'm proud that I can still say that, even after releasing a debut EP.
So what are your plans for the future, like next year?
So January, we have a very exciting gig coming up. And I've got my whole band with me as well. I can't go into too much detail about it because I'm not allowed to as of yet. But by the time this is probably aired anyway, you know, there'll be, I will be talking about it. But I am really excited for it. And yeah, I am so excited to be performing back in Nottingham and just somewhere where like is technically a home for me, but I'm not gonna spoil too much because that would be so bad of me at this stage. And also I've got to let the audience keep thinking what the clues may be, perhaps.
So finally, can tell my listeners where can they find you on social media?
So you can find me on social media at Lucy Crisp Music on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter as well, or X, I think they call it. But yeah, you can follow me there. And then on Spotify, I'm Lucy Crisp.
Thank you for letting me chat to you today.
Thank you so much. It's been great.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
And I wish you all success.
Amazing. So I'm guessing that's the interview done.
Yes, that's correct.
Amazing. That's great. So this will just get then just like launched on the 7th of January, and then we're all good from there.
Yep.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ruben. Have a great day.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.